Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on creating creating a browser automation AI worker. I am Chris Good, our Director of Product Marketing here, filling in for Austin this week. Don't worry, he'll be back next week. And today I'm joined by Andre, and I'll let you introduce yourself as well.
Hi, Chris. Thank you for the introduction. Yeah, I'm Andre. If anybody is rejoining, you might know me already. So I'm a solution architect for EverWorker for a few months now. Yeah, and I handle customer implementations, engineering, pretty much like in a startup, pretty much anything that is needed.
Yeah, so today we're going to be showing you all something that, frankly, we think will change how you think about browser automation entirely. If you've ever been frustrated by traditional RPA solutions that break every time a website updates, or if you spent months building automation that fails in production, this session is specifically designed for you. Now, before we get started here, let us go over the agenda for today. So we're going to be covering a lot in the next 45 minutes. But first, we're going to diagnose exactly why traditional browser automation has become more of a liability than an asset for most organizations. Then we'll introduce you to EverWorker V2 and show you how it fundamentally reimagines AI workforce creation. And the centerpiece of today's presentation is our new browser automation AI worker, which Andre will demonstrate live here shortly. We'll also walk through our proven framework for implementing AI workers in your business, show you real-world use cases, and let you know about our free certification course that's available today. We'll save some time at the end for a QA, but this is an interactive session. Feel free to drop questions in the chat as we go, and we'll be monitoring those throughout the entire session. But without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with the fundamental question, right? Why does browser automation matter, right? Every single business today depends on browser-based work. Your teams are logging into web applications to enter data, they generate reports, process customer onboarding, handle compliance reporting, the list goes on. But here's the problem. Traditional browser automation has become a bottleneck rather than an accelerator. And looking at these statistics, 73% of enterprise workers are spending over 2 hours every day on, every single day on repetitive browser tasks. And that's more than 25% of their workday on tasks that add no strategic value. Meanwhile, traditional RPA projects are taking 6 to 12 months to deploy, and then breaking within weeks when the target systems get updated. In the IT teams, they're spending 40% of their automation budget just keeping existing automations running, not building new capabilities. So really, this isn't automation. This is automation theater. You're getting all the complexity and cost with none of the reliability or scale that you need. And why do these traditional approaches fail so consistently? And I'd say there's 5 fatal flaws that make legacy browser automation unsuitable for modern business needs. First, it's brittle high maintenance. And it's high maintenance, right? So traditional browser automation breaks every time there's a UI update, a website change, or even a different screen resolution, right? It requires constant developer intervention just to keep the basic functionality working. Second, it's complex or a complex setup with massive technical barriers. Right? You need specialized programming skills, Selenium, Python, complex scripting, and most projects takes months of development time for simple workflows, and business users can't create or modify anything themselves. The third is limited adaptability. So traditional automation cannot handle exceptions or unexpected scenarios. It's rigid. It's rule-based logic that fails the moment anything varies from that exact script you programmed. The fourth piece is that it's siloed and disconnected, right? So most browser automation operates in isolation from your other business systems. It can't access company context. It can't integrate with your data. Requires manual integration for every connection. And the fifth is just a poor ROI with a high total cost of ownership. You have high development costs, low success rates, ongoing maintenance expenses that exceed your initial investment, and limited scalability across different use cases. And these aren't edge cases. These are fundamental design limitations of how traditional browser automation works. Now, when browser automation fails, the impact cascades through your entire operation. Right? On the operational side, your teams end up spending more time fixing the automations than actually using them. And critical processes stall when automations break, and they will break. Manual workarounds introduce human errors that the automation was supposed to eliminate. And your IT teams become automation maintenance crews instead of strategic technology enablers. But the strategic impact is arguably even worse. You hit scalability limits. You can't handle growth without proportional headcount increases. Right? Technology or technical resources get stuck on maintenance instead of advancement. So the bottom line from Forrester research is that companies that succeed with browser automation achieve a 330% ROI over 3 years. But companies that fail, which is most of them, waste millions or thousands on solutions that never deliver business value. So the difference here isn't in the use case or the business need, it's in the approach. So what does success look like? When browser automation actually works, it delivers three critical business capabilities. First, you get scale without limits, right? You transform browser-based workflows from capacity constraints into competitive advantages. You can handle 10x the volume with the same team size. Second is 24/7 operations, right? You never miss an opportunity due to time zones or business hours. Critical browser-based processes run continuously without human intervention, which means you can serve customers, process transactions, or capture opportunities around the clock. And then the third is perfect consistency, right? You eliminate human error in repetitive browser tasks while freeing your talented employees for strategic work that actually drives growth. So the companies that master intelligent browser automation operate with unlimited digital capacity and perfect execution consistency. And that's not just operational efficiency, that's a competitive moat, right? Now, imagine for a moment that browser automation actually worked the way it should, right? Imagine it understands your business context. It adapts to changes automatically and can be created by people who know the work best without requiring technical expertise. Imagine an automation that's self-healing and adaptive and works reliably even as websites and processes evolve. There's no more breaking every time there's an update. And imagine that it's ready for enterprises from day one, right? It integrates to all of your systems. It respects your security requirements. It operates under existing permissions and scales with your business needs. This isn't wishful thinking, excuse me. This is exactly what we've built with EverWorker, and specifically this new browser automation AI worker that Andre's built. So before we get into the demo, we're just going to introduce and give a little more insight here into EverWorker as a whole, right? And our core belief is that your AI workforce should be just a conversation away. There's no complex programming, no months of development time, no technical barriers between you and the automation that you need. EverWorker is built on a fundamental insight. That's the people who know the work the best should be the ones creating the AI workers. If you can describe the task, you can employ the AI worker. There's no coding, no engineering team, no months of development, just describing what you need, and EverWorker builds it. And let's see, why does this matter? Because AI workers aren't just tools, they're business force multipliers. According to Forrester, intelligent automation again can generate 330% over ROI over 3 years, but only when it's done right. And here's what we know from other research, right? 90% of these respondents say that manual and repetitive IT tasks contribute to low morale and attrition in their organization. And IT spends more than 5 hours a week on these repetitive requests. So this AI worker is not a tool, it's a new capability that scales your team, amplifies their expertise, and turns these operational bottlenecks into sources of competitive differentiation, right? Now, let's be very clear on what we mean by an AI workforce, right? So think of about your entire company. Pick any function, marketing, for example. Imagine your marketing organizational chart with all its roles and responsibilities. An AI workforce layers directly onto this structure, augmenting the capacity and capability of an entire business function. So this isn't about replacing people. It's about giving every role in your organization an AI worker that works 24/7, never forgets training, scales instantly when you need more capacity. And this marketing universal worker you see here can orchestrate specialized workers for content creation, social media management, email marketing, market research, and even event marketing, right? Each one operates like a highly trained employee in that specific domain, but they all work together as a coordinated team. So before we show you what's show you what works and get to the demo, let's understand why most AI initiatives fail, right? And according to research, more than 80% of the AI projects fail, wasting billions of dollars. And this is twice the failure of regular IT projects. Now, why is that? Well, it's because the three traditional approaches treat AI workforce creation as a technical problem to be solved by technical people, when it's actually a business problem to be solved by business people, right? That requires business expertise. Approach one, right, is that internal IT teams and engineering teams. It takes months of development. They result in AI workers that fail in proof of concept because IT doesn't understand the business processes well enough to build effective solutions. Number two is external AI consulting. It costs you millions, and you're locked into dependency on providers who fail to deliver working solutions. They're expensive, they're slow, they're ultimately unsuccessful. And the third approach is vertical specific pre-built solutions, not customized to your unique business processes or systems or knowledge. Right? You get something that works on paper but fails in reality. So the fundamental problem here is that all three approaches treat AI workforces creation as a technical problem to be solved by technical people, when it's actually a business problem that requires business expertise. So this is why EverWorker takes a completely different approach. We make it easier than ever to employ AI workers through three core capabilities. First, no engineering required. You create AI agents without any coding, modeling, or engineering of any kind. The only language that you need to know is English, and if you can describe the task, you can create the AI worker. The second is that it's AI tailored to your business. We provide connections to all of your business applications and deep understanding of your data, right? Which enables AI workers to perform like fully trained employees of the month, better than your employees of the month, who understand your specific business context. The third is expertise built in. Our experts support you with professional services and training, guiding you from your initial strategy through employing AI workers across a variety of business tasks. So EverWorker really delivers the fastest time to market and the lowest cost to employ AI workers, and it's designed to ensure the highest ROI of any provider in the market. And we give you the easiest path to the best ROI and the fastest time to market because we rest on these three core principles. First, again, the people who know the work must create the AI workers. The second is that companies who become AI first organizations as an entire organization will seize and acquire market share rapidly. They will outcompete their entire competitive set with unlimited capacity and capability. And this, again, isn't about individual tools. It's about an organizational transformation. The third is that an AI workforce, again, isn't a technical problem to solve. It's a business problem to solve. And business people are best equipped to solve this because they understand the work, the outcomes, and the requirements better than any technical team. This is the life that they live, right? And to make this concrete, when your marketing director who lives in customer campaigns daily can create the workers themselves, the quality and the relevance transforms completely. They know the edge cases, the patterns, the customer nuances that make automation actually work. And the result is AI workers that operate, again, like your best employees because they're created by the people who train your best employees. They never forget a lesson learned. They work 24/7 without burnout, and they scale instantly when you need more capacity. And that is the difference between automation that works and automation theater that wastes money. Now, before we get into the demo, which I promise we are 1 minute away from, let's just talk really quickly about what's new in EverWorker. We've delivered 4 major breakthroughs that make AI worker creation faster and easier and more powerful than ever before. First is EverWorker Creator. Our new creator creates, tests, and employs AI workers for you. You just describe the work and it handles all of the technical complexity. The second is universal workers, right? And these function as department heads or team leads who orchestrate specialized workers. And they operate with the intelligence of your most experienced managers, but with 24/7 availability and perfect memory. And then the third is universal connector, right? You can upload an open API spec file, right? So for any system, a universal connector automatically builds out every possible action that is there between, with that API, right? So every possible action that EverWorker can work with that system that you want to connect it to. So forget all of the manual endpoint configuration and tedious documentation, which for the non-technical folks on the call, that's something that a lot of your IT teams would have to handle, and I can assure you that they probably didn't enjoy. The fourth then is our new UI, right? And that focuses on business processes and outcomes without technical complexity. It's very intuitive and mirrors how business people actually think. Now, without further ado, let's shift gears, and I'm going to pass it on here to Andre, who is going to give you the demo.
Thank you, Chris. That was very interesting. Let's jump into browser automation. And let me tell you how I came up with this. First, I want to say what I'm going to show you is a template more than anything. It's not a product at all at this moment, but I'll comment more about what's coming. Because as you see, and maybe you're aware, this is the V1. I built this here, so this is where I'm showing, but we are working on a full-fledged product for V2, which will get launched soon. So I just want to show you an idea, which I think shows the power of AI that is put in a very well thought platform around it. You couldn't just do this with anything else. You need a platform around AI. And what I mean by that is I've worked for 6 years in RPA. So browser automation was probably, 70% of everything I did. And I promise you, it's like you mentioned in your presentation, it's a difficult topic. It's not reliable. It's difficult to do. You need to be technical to do it. It wasn't a problem in my case, but if you're less technical and want to use a automation platform like we are offering, it's gonna be a problem if you don't know a little bit of web development and CSS and stuff like this. So I know about the struggles, and then I got started with agents, did a few agents, and came to the idea like, what would happen if I would just tell an agent, here's the page I'm in, think about it, interpret it however you want, here's what I want to do, and you figure out what needs to be done. So I'm not going to give it any rules. I'm not going to give it any technical anything. I'm just going to tell it, here's where I am at, and here's where I want to go to, and you figure it out. And I was quite surprised, and I'll show you in a second. But as you see, this is the agent that I'm going to show you. It's so simple, And it's good that it's simple. It shows the power, but it's a template. So usually an agent starts with a user prompt, goes through some sort of a little bit of an LLM processing. In this case, we're using OpenAI, but it could be anything, and gives out a response. And then, like I said, I thought, what if I give it the entire web page I'm in? Will it know to navigate around there, especially in some messy web pages, and figure out what I want? And this is this is it. This is the architecture. And well, I thought, where should I put it? I just used it in our sidebar, which I've shown in previous sessions. Which again is not a product. Will is going to be soon, but it's just, you could think of it as a web page. I'm sorry. Yeah, a web page that is consuming through API our agents. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything very smart. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm here on a form with multiple fields. And let's say I have maybe an ID card or something that I want to fill this in. Now, like I showed you, we're not connected to any files, but we could be. In this case, I'll just tell it to invent some data. Key thing here is it'll need to detect all forms here and the associated elements to them. So what each of them is, and provide data that is relevant to the context it's in. So I'm just going to tell it to, I'm going to click this button here to tell it to watch the page I'm in. I'm going to tell it to this form with some dummy data. Apologies if you can't read what's on the right side of my screen. I can't make this bigger, but I just asked it to fill this form with dummy data. It takes a few seconds because this is a pretty complex page, a lot of text. And what we're preparing for V2, I'd like to show it, but we need to launch it, is insanely fast. Like, it's more than 10 times faster than this. It's just due to the new engine that we've built, and the way it handles LLM processing and all that is just a lot faster. So I'm hoping we can do another session at some point, and I could get to show you that finished product. But until then, yeah, we got to wait for a few seconds. The next example I'm going to show is going to be a little bit faster because that's a smaller website. But it's now looking here, and as you can see, it detected all of the fields on the screen. And the thing is, and for any of you who did RPA will know, the important thing is it was able to detect all of them and what they are. So this is just a text field, but AI was able to, without any sort of I didn't even tell it it's going to be a form. I didn't tell it anything in the programming part. It was able to figure out that this is first name, so it should put John, which is a good first name here, and so on, male, whatever. I could even tell it to click reset. I'll do it on a second page because I don't want to spend time. It's going to be faster. But this is what it's about. So don't think of it as a good RPA tool. Think of it as just an idea, and how much, like, I coded this in a few minutes just by giving AI what I'm working with and what I want. And it surprised me, to be honest. I did no change to the prompts or anything. And then I thought, all right, this is a big website, but it's easy. It's a simple website. This, on the other hand, RPA challenge is what we use to test our RPA developers to see if they're any good in web automation, because this is a tough website to automate. I could go for a few minutes in technical details to why, but it's behind it. It's built in a specific way to make it tough for you to fill these fields. You can do it if you know complex techniques, but it's not easy to do directly. So I'm just gonna ask it to form with dummy data. Again, the quality here is if it matches all fields where they are. So it's not going to put email in the address field or something like this. And this is what this website makes it super difficult. And as you can see, it always works flawlessly, always. And this was where I got surprised. Like, I knew I had years of this being the standard of a difficult website to automate, and I did no change, and it just did it. I can also just say click submit, because I showed you typing. You can also press buttons. You see it did press it, but when you press it, the page gets reset. So that's what happened. And
so, question for you, Andre. Historically, would you have to create different integrations, let's say for every single website that you want to fill out a form with, or possibly different styles of forms within the same site. Every different page would have to have some sort of different integration or handshake so that RPA system knew how to properly fill out the form. And now you don't have to have that, right? It just works flawlessly.
100%. So this website, or okay, this is a challenge, but even this, it would be a specific automation that would work only for this website. In each of these fields, I would have to manually select, anchor, target in a specific way. Sure, it's going to be a little bit of copy paste. It's not going to be full monkey work, but it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
And if the guys here change, for example, they turn first name, middle, and last name into full name, you're done. It's not going to work. Here, I never even told it about a field. It's figured out on its own. It's always going to figure it out on its own. So yeah, it definitely, in terms of like compared to RP, it's like uncomparable. And my concern originally was, sure, AI may not be, if you don't know how to code it properly, and I coded it like 2 minutes, maybe it's not going to be as reliable as RPA, which if the website stays as it is, which never happens, it's quite reliable. But I'm telling you, I did no tests before this session. I've done a few tests before. I've never ever seen it slip. So I was so surprised and impressed that I trust it. And again, I just want to think about this, because I know filling a form with dummy data is not impressive. I just want to reiterate, this is a template. Your input could be a document, which could be scanned, data, and filled, or maybe your input could be the website and a question. Let's say you're in Salesforce and there's a big amount of stuff. You could say summarize everything and type it in the comment below, right? So think about this as a template. You can make this as complex as you want. The only cool thing is this idea that you give it the website and some instructions like this on how to click and type, like here, and that's it. You're done.
Wow.
Web automation.
Wow.
Yeah. And I really hope we can get another session when we launch the second one, because that makes this thing look dumb. Like the way it's crazy, but that's why we are building it as a full product. It will be downloadable from the Chrome extension store, so it's actually going to be a full product, not just a page consuming APIs. So
yeah, no, that's really cool. And for folks on the call, now that you've seen how easy it is to create this worker, right? Let's talk a little bit about different use cases. For one, I think of financial data collection and processing, right? Automating the extraction of financial data from bank portals or vendor systems or financial platforms for reconciliation and reporting, right? It's highly repetitive, time-sensitive work that's currently done manually, and I can't imagine anyone enjoys finding the needle in the haystack, right? Of just having to go and retrieve and data collection. I would deem that as not maybe my favorite job to do, right? Another big piece would be customer data enrichment, right? Systematically collecting prospect information from LinkedIn or company websites or directories or other sources to build qualified lead lists, right? It's another use of browser automation. Even, doing what we saw here today, right? Multi-system data entry or form processing, right? So automating this entry of information across multiple web-based systems. It's something that's error-prone and time-consuming to manually enter in all of that data. It's it's just a task that's mundane and tedious and doesn't have immense strategic ROI, right? So having workers like this is something that really lets your team increase their capacity and focus on things that actually matter. Now, we're going to shift gears and we'll move away from the demo here. I appreciate the demo, Andre. And we're just going to wrap up with a few more slides here. Let me see here. So, oops. Let me pull this up. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay. So when it comes on to implementing an AI workforce, right? I would say we offer 3 levels of support to help any business become an AI leader, regardless of where you're starting from. Right? The discovery workshop is the first piece, and that helps create a plan for how AI workers can best benefit your business. We'll identify current pain points, business opportunities. We'll brainstorm and scope a catalog of AI workers relevant to your team, create a simple business case quantifying the value of each AI worker, and then develop proof of concept for 1 to 2 AI workers. AI worker creation is where we create and test and employ 3 to 5 production ready AI workers for you. Right? We'll gather the requirements, document the use cases, curate relevant data and guidance to support AI decisions, and then create custom integrations to your unique system as needed. And then the third piece is on-site training, right? Everything that your team needs to know to create their own AI workers. Day one covers AI fundamentals for business professionals. Day 2 is an introduction into agentic AI and the EverWorker platform. And day 3 is hands-on creating your own AI workers, your own AI workforce, including prompt engineering or prompt training, and how to use RAG to improve AI performance, right? And the goal is to make you self-sufficient while ensuring that you succeed from day one. Now, before we wrap up here, there is just one other thing I wanted to talk about or tell you folks about that we're incredibly excited about, and that's EverWorker Academy. And we believe that becoming AI first shouldn't require months of training or a computer science degree. EverWorker Academy is our free certification program that empowers every business professional to become AI first. Whether you're in marketing, finance, operations, HR, or any other business function, or somewhere in between, the certification is designed specifically for you. Now, here's what makes it different than the others out there. It's built for business people, right? Not developers. You don't need to understand Python or machine learning algorithms. If you can describe the work that you need done, you can create the AI worker. And the certification covers 3 core areas, right? First is fundamentals for or AI fundamentals for business professionals, right? We'll help you understand what agentic AI can do for your specific role. Second is hands-on experience with the EverWorker platform, right? We'll actually create our own AI workers during the training. And then the third is advanced techniques like prompt engineering using RAG to improve AI performance. And what I love most about this program is that it's completely practical. You're not just learning theory, you're walking away with actual knowledge that you can implement immediately, right? And employ in your own business. And the best part is it's completely free, right? We want to remove every barrier to AI adoption, whether you're ready to purchase EverWorker today or you're still exploring what's possible, right? This certification gives you the knowledge and the confidence to succeed. And you can sign up for EverWorker Academy right now. The link will be in the follow-up email. And again, this isn't just learning about a new tool. It's about joining a movement of business professionals who are transforming their organization with AI. Don't let your competitors get there first. So that is the meat of the presentation today. I'll start by saying thank you for tuning in for the last 35 minutes. And then we will open it up to any other questions here in a final QA. I know there is only a handful of you online now, but if you do have anything, feel free to ask it. And don't worry, there will be another session next week. So this isn't your only opportunity. And while we wait here, Andre, question for you. Um, have you found any browser-based tasks that you find work best, or versus those that still present challenges, like we talked about earlier, where the RPA website was inherently, that was like the end all be all. If it passes this, we know we made a great tool. Has this sort of burned through all of these roadblocks, or are there still things that we're finding challenges with?
So, in terms of what RPA used to have as issues in terms of difficult websites to automate, no, I believe pretty much. No, I have not found a single issue so far. Now, in particular, with what I showed you today, there's this idea like I showed you a one task on a website, but usually you might want to do a longer process, which would require it to get feedback from what it did and a chain like that, which is a limitation with what I showed you, not a limitation in the V2 release that we're releasing soon of this extension. And also not a limitation in our product, because what I've showed you today in terms of browser automation is, I would say, a good use case for an assistant. You wouldn't ask it to do long things, and I'll tell you why in a second. I would say you would use this to, let's say you're on a screen, you're just lazy to read everything, and you want to draft it, you got to draft a response, and just ask it. So nothing repetitive. Like, see what's on my screen, just draft a response in the comment section, and that's it. So that's one time thing. Good wording from AI. It solves a bunch of issues that you would normally have to do manually. For repetitive, complex things, we have our browser automation in our workers, which they have their own browser. So you could instruct them to do the work without you at all. Or we have API calling, MCP. You would be able to automate, let's say, Jira, Salesforce, whatever platform it is, through that, which is more reliable. So I would say there are no limitations. It all depends to select the right tools, and we have all of them at this point. But technically, with what's coming, you could do everything even with this sidebar, although it may not be the easiest. But yeah.
That's cool. And I guess the last question I have for you here today is, well, two. Traditional creating a browser automation tool. Actually, you know what? There's a good one that just came in. That's
Yeah.
from chat, and let's answer that one. Vrutik asks, "What motivates you, Andre, to start this project? What was the major use case for you?"
So it's a combination of two things. One, a customer request that we had of integrating with multiple platforms. So that's why we built this sidebar originally. And then again, it wanted to have it like a sidekick. Sure, we could have done it through API calling and stuff like this, but understanding what's on our screen was the most versatile thing. So that's where it came from. We did this. That was pretty simplistic, and the reason this is going to be a product is just my technical curiosity and passion about it, and I just was curious and took it a step further, and it impressed me all the time on
Yeah.
how good it does. So it ended up being what you'll see in a few weeks, super powerful tool.
Awesome. Great explanation. All right. If there are any other questions here, we'll give it another 15 seconds, and if not, we will wrap up. But do not worry, we will be back next week with another worker.
Thank you.
So for folks joining or have joined in, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we will see you here next week. Cheers.
Bye, guys. Thank you.